America, we gotta get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, every week should be a 4-day work week. What do you think about that, America? America. Hope everybody had a good, long, nice, relaxing weekend. Every day should be a 4-day work week. How about that? Thumbs up. Thumbs up across the political divide. Well, here's my answer, right? It's fun to have a 4-day work week, right? Today's Tuesday, feels like a Monday, short week. Before you know it, tomorrow's hump day. And then before you know it, we're near Friday and another weekend. 4-day work weeks are kind of cool. Admit it, we all love them, no matter who we are politically. But the free market libertarian kind of a guy I am, no, I don't want government to mandate a 4-day work week. Leave that up to the private sector. I'll bet you, though, we're getting to a point where my kids, my grandkids' generation, I'll bet we'll have pretty regular, right, 4-day work weeks in America. A few things this Tuesday I want to get to. We continue, America, we continue our face-to-face conversations this week with the American people. For all of you who are new to this show, new to me, I'm a former Republican congressman. I'm a former Republican candidate for president. I'm a former Republican, right now politically homeless independent, who every single week goes out there into America and has and films conversations with regular folk, with Americans, face-to-face conversations with people on the left and people on the right, white, black, brown, gay, straight, transgender, independent, Republican, Democrat, you name it. I do this. I'm out there every week having and filming these face-to-face conversations because I do truly believe that America right now is like that married couple on the verge of a divorce. And I think we need marital therapy. I think face-to-face conversation is our marital therapy. I think America needs face-to-face conversations with each other. I think Americans long for face-to-face conversations with their fellow neighbors, their community members, their political friends, their whatever. We need face-to-face conversations. And I believe America, in this age of the smartphones and the all the technology we've got, there's a longing for face-to-face conversations. And so that's what I'm doing every week. And we film these conversations and then we put them up on my Substack, the longer version, so that you all can watch these conversations and hopefully learn a little bit from these conversations. This week, and I'll get to it in a little bit, this week found me on the south side of Chicago, talking to one of my favorite political activists on the south side of Chicago, one of my favorite advocates, as he likes to say, for the Black people, Maize Jackson, long time media personality, political activist on the south side of Chicago. Maize and I had a conversation a while back that you will see all week this week, and I'll show you a clip of that in a moment here. A fascinating conversation about the racial divide in this country and about how politically Black folk should begin thinking about things, where their priorities should be. Again, not my perspective. The whole point of these conversations is to listen and gain other people's perspectives. I want to start with this, though. I want to start with pointing out a moment of courage that took place over the weekend. We live in a time right now of great concern and fear in this country. we have a tyrant in the White House, a dictator, a very, very bad man, an authoritarian, the very thing our founding fathers feared. A would-be wannabe king is in the White House. And he's going after private companies. He's going after law firms. He's going after media companies. He's going after private individuals, trying to shut people up, threatening people and companies with lawsuits, trying to get them to bend to his knee, like all good dictators and authoritarians do. It's happening in this country right now, America. And it's scary and it's wrong. And what's important is we need examples of courage, people who are willing to stand up in the public square against Donald Trump and call him out for what he is. Like all wannabe dictators, all wannabe kings, Trump doesn't believe in freedom. Trump doesn't believe in freedom of the press. Trump most certainly doesn't believe in free speech. Look at how Donald Trump every single day goes after people in the private sector, private individuals, trying to shut them up, threatening to sue people because of things they've said. Trump's administration going after people here on student visas because of their views and their beliefs. Donald Trump doesn't believe in freedom. He's a threat to freedom. And it's so damn freaking important that all of us stand up against that and display courage, stand up in the public square, not to be afraid. Somebody did it over the weekend. Scott Pelley of CBS News. He did it. Scott Pelley, longtime journalist with CBS News, at the Wake Forest graduation ceremonies, delivering the commencement address. Scott Pelley called Trump out, called authoritarianism out, stood up for freedom and a free press. You know, probably Scott Pelley just got himself let go from CBS News. CBS News, CBS News, CBS, that they've been on their knees trying to appease, like so many of the media companies have been, on their knees trying to appease this authoritarian, this tyrant in the White House. Scott Pelley with CBS said, I want no part of that. And at the Wake Forest graduation ceremonies Saturday, Scott Pelley spoke truth to power. I'm going to give you a little piece of that right here. He stood up in the public square and he took on the tyrant in the White House. Keith, give me a little bit of that. TikTok, I'll turn you around.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes and heroes criminals. Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality. Diversity is now described as illegal. Equity is to be shunned. Inclusion is a dirty word. This is an old playbook, my friends. There's nothing new in this.
That was some of Scott Pelley at Wake Forest over the weekend speaking at the graduation ceremonies. The fear to speak in America. That's where we are right now. And really, it underlays everything Trump is trying to do. He's trying to shut people up. He's trying to scare people. He's trying to censor speech. He's trying to outlaw speech he doesn't like. Scott Pelley there, again, it's been what, 130 days Trump's been in the White House? He's a tyrant. He's a bad, horrible person. He's everything our founders feared. And so many Americans and so many companies and so many media companies and so many universities, because they're afraid, have not stood up to him. So when you get a moment where somebody publicly calls him out, where somebody publicly stands up and defends a free press, defends free speech, man, it needs to be recognized. You need to hear it. It needs to be applauded. We talk a lot about the resistance. Those of us who oppose tyranny, those of us who oppose Trump. What is resistance? A big part of resistance is having the courage to publicly stand up. That's what Scott Pelley did at Wake Forest this weekend. He had the damn courage to stand up. And I'm telling you, he's going to pay a professional price for what he just did, standing up to a dictator in the White House. He should be applauded. Pelley also talked about how important it is that we speak with people we disagree with, how we speak across the divide, how we've got to try to find common ground. Pelley got into all of this, and then he said, but we're living right now in an America where people are afraid to speak. People are being threatened. My God. A free press. Donald Trump attacking the media, threatening to sue media outlets every single day. Why? This is all based on fear. He's trying to scare people. I guess that's what it is. I'll put a lid on Pelley. Trump is a dictator. He's a tyrant. Tyrants and dictators live off of, grow off of, thrive off of fear. They need their people to be afraid. They need the ruled, the masses, to be afraid to speak, to be afraid to take him on, to be afraid to call him out. And most people right now are afraid. Because Trump? Pam Bondi, the attorney general? She ain't no attorney general. She's Trump's personal lawyer. You speak out publicly against Donald Trump will sick his personal lawyer on you. He's threatened to imprison people who disagree with him politically. So when someone displays real courage, that courage must be displayed. That courage must be applauded. Scott Pelley, CBS News, should be applauded. His courage must be displayed, because when we display acts of courage against a tyrant, against tyranny, courage will grow. Others will feel brave enough, strong enough, confident enough to speak out. Right, TikTok? Thank you, Scott Pelley. Hey, I just got to say this as well. I, for the life of me, I understand nothing. I'm a man. I'm a guy. I'm a man. So if any of what I'm about to say sounds sexist, I apologize. But I'm primarily right now speaking to the men listening to me. Nothing saddens me more than how men in America actually look up to Trump. Nothing pains me more than that. How there are actually men in America who think Trump is like some real man. There are actually men in America who worship Trump, who hold Donald Trump on high and say, hey, that's a man, baby. That's how fucking men should act and behave, baby. Nothing saddens me more than that, because Donald Trump is the antithesis of a man. Trump's a punk. Trump's a pussy. Trump's a wussy. Trump's a coward. Trump's a cheat. Trump's a pathological liar. Trump's never taken accountability for anything. Trump's cruel. Trump's a bully. Trump punches down. Men in America, Donald Trump is everything a real man isn't. Donald Trump is the opposite of a real man. Men in America who are raising boys or who've raised boys into men, man, you've raised your boys to be the exact opposite of Trump. To be responsible, to be faithful, to have shame, to take accountability, not to lie, not to cheat, not to steal. That's how you've raised your boys to be men. Trump's a crybaby. And this was all on display again yesterday, Memorial Day. I mean, just think about it, Memorial Day. Just think again, one day removed. And you can do this because when you think of Memorial Day, damn it, you think of the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can be here. So I think you can take a little bit of time the day after Memorial Day to think about them again and not think about you. Think about what Memorial Day is. Think about who we honor on. Am I still there, Keith? There we go. We honor people on Memorial Day who are the exact opposite of Donald Trump. On Memorial Day, we honor heroes. We honor bravery. We honor courage. We honor men and women who put others before them. On Memorial Day, we honor sacrifice. Men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice. Men and women who gave up their lives for us. Now, everything I just said is the opposite, the exact opposite of who and what Donald Trump is. It's the exact opposite of who that draft dodging, phony, what do you have? Bone spurs embracing coward is. I mean, think about it. We honored the men and women yesterday in America. Think about this, MAGA. How you can look up to him. He's the biggest fucking crybaby in the world, Donald Trump is. Yesterday in America, we honored the men and women who Donald Trump calls suckers and losers. Remember when Trump said that? People who die for their country, Trump said, are suckers and losers. And I'm reminded again yesterday, what did Trump do yesterday on Memorial Day? First of all, Donald Trump sent out a message saying Happy Memorial Day. Who the fuck says Happy Memorial Day? Nothing happy about yesterday. It's a somber day. Should be a sad day, a reflective day. Happy Memorial Day. But again, Trump says shit like that because Trump doesn't understand what Memorial Day is. But then Donald Trump proceeded in everything he did yesterday, in the tweet he put out, in the speech, the couple of speeches he gave over the weekend and yesterday. Donald Trump made everything about himself. He didn't talk about the men and women who died for this country. He didn't talk about the meaning of Memorial Day. That little coward made it all about himself. He whined and he cried about his political opponents. You remember this crazy ass statement, Keith? Do we still have that? Here's Trump. This is the president of the United States yesterday. His official TikTok Memorial Day statement. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum, blah, 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 blah. And then there he goes. He then proceeds to spend about 400 words, Donald Trump did yesterday, bitching, crying, and whining about how he's been treated and about how bad his political opponents are on Memorial Day. That's not something a real man does. Real man doesn't do that. A real man doesn't brag. A real man certainly doesn't make everything all about himself. A real man doesn't cry every single day about how unfairly he's being treated. A real man does something about it. Trump ain't a real man. And then in the speeches he gave, all Trump did was talk about himself. Nothing about the men and women who gave up their lives so that a coward like that could be in the White House. Donald Trump displayed again yesterday in real time how he is the utter opposite of a real man. Trump yesterday showed every man in this country again yesterday how not to be. He lied, he cried, he pouted, he made it all about himself. It just pains me that there are men in this country. Listen to what I'm saying, men in this country. It doesn't pain me that there are men in this country who voted for him. I get that. It pains me that there are men in this country who actually think Trump's a real man. And I don't think most men who support Trump really think that. I don't. I think most men who support Trump know that Trump's a bad man. I think most men who support Trump know that Trump lies all the time and he cheats all the time. And he punches down all the time and he cries and whines all the time. I know that most men who support Trump were not raised to be like Trump. Do not raise their boys to be men like Trump. I know that. It just pains me that men in America can't say that. It pains me when I hear any man in America tell me that Trump is like the paragon of manhood. He's the antithesis of manhood. Which, by the way, segues into my conversation with Maize Jackson on the south side of Chicago. Maize and I sat down. We didn't really sit down a while back. We played pool at one of his clubs on the south side of Chicago. I suck at pool. He's pretty good. He beat me at pool. He's a black man. I'm a white man. But we spent about an hour talking about the state of Black America, and in particular, the state of Black America and the Democratic Party. And look, Maize is a Black man, and it pains him to admit that more and more Black men, like white men, were drawn to Trump. And I'm not a Black man, but my God, it just pains me that Black men are drawn to Trump. How can a Black man or a white man or any man be drawn to somebody who cheats and lies and steals and cries and whines all the time? But Maize and I talked about how Black men in particular are disappointed in the Democratic Party, feel less attached to the Democratic Party, and how many of them did, in fact, vote for Trump. We'll show you clips all week of my conversation with Maize Jackson. I think it was really interesting. Remember, we're trying to do something different every week. Last week, I sat down with 7 white people around a kitchen table in the suburbs of Chicago. Well, this week, I'm playing pool with a Black man on the south side of Chicago, talking about the Black vote, Black people, what Black people should do politically, and why the Democrats right now have such a problem connecting with Black folk, especially Black men. I'm going to play for you right now, TikTok and everybody else, a short clip from my conversation with Maize Jackson. Go ahead,
Party
Keith.
did a number in highlighting the achievements of Black women at the expense of Black men as though we weren't participatory. So think about what happened in Georgia with Stacey Abrams. You know, the story was 98% of Black women voted for Stacey Abrams, as if 95% of Black men didn't, right?
They didn't. You don't think they did?
No, I think that Black people in general vote Democrat. Overwhelmingly, you're hitting 80 is to get 80% of any constituency is phenomenal, except for the Black community. If you're not pumping a 90, 95 out of the Black community, you wind up being a failure. And so I think the Democratic Party spent a lot of time highlighting Black women. And I want to say this in a respectful manner because it's a weird place to be. It's tough to elect Black men because of all of the things that have happened. And as the racial conversation, it's tough to elect a Black man. Let me just say that.
Why?
And so,
Why?
I mean,
I'm missing something.
I think
Shoot shot, by the way.
there's a story to be told about the exclusion of Black women from politics initially, even in the exclusion of women.
Yeah.
And then what Democrats found is they could get the double bubble. Hey man, I hope you're getting all this on tape because this is probably the best I've ever played. So I think, let me go back because I don't know if I was clear about that. I think the Democrats have spent a tremendous amount of time focusing on electing Black women, which was a clarion call for a while. But now it has become the norm, and so you rarely find an appointment of a Black man to a spot.
There we go, TikTok. Thank you, Keith. Hope everybody enjoyed that little clip from Maize Jackson. What's interesting is, again, these conversations are all about trying to gain understanding. There's a Black man who pretty much said, look, Democrats have done a lot of reach out to Black women, and they've elected a lot of Black women. And they've put a lot of Black women up for positions and offices and nominations, but not as much black men, not even close black men. And black men don't run for office as much as black women do. And black men don't get as appointed to positions as much as black women do. Again, his perspective as a black man, that this is a real divide. I would say as a white man, I think this is a problem that the Democratic Party has, in that I think they've, again, reached out to women generally, advanced a lot of issues that women care about generally, not paid as much attention to issues like immigration and crime that men really care about, white, black, and brown. And more women vote Democrat, and fewer men vote Democrat. And Maize made clear, look, this is happening in white America. It's happening in black America too, that divide. When we say Trump did better with the black vote, no, Trump did better with black men, period, not black women. Trump made inroads with black men. A lot of the black men that Maize speaks about in our conversation who don't feel like the Democratic Party is talking to them. And there are a lot of middle-class, lower-income white and brown men, in addition to middle-class and lower-income black men, who do not believe the Democratic Party is talking to them. Maize and I, black guy, white guy, shared this, that the Democratic Party comes across as elitist and out of touch. And you'll hear that we say that throughout the conversation. Again, part of that is they just don't talk as much about issues, the Democratic Party doesn't, that regular folk, white, black, and brown, are concerned about. And those tend to be issues that men are more drawn to. Which is why a lot of black men said, screw it. Trump may be an ass, man, but he's talking about the border. Trump may be an ass, but he's talking about migrants. He's talking about crime. There's like this macho thing, this obviously fake macho thing, because Donald Trump is the antithesis of macho. But white men and black men and brown men have been drawn to that because they've had a choice. Black men have, and Maize said this, black men have had a choice in the last couple of elections between a perceived to be, yeah, Trump lies, and yeah, Trump steals, and yeah, Trump's an asshole, but Joe, he's got machismo. He's a macho guy, which is all bullshit. But men have bought that. And on the other hand, men look at white, black, and brown. They look at the Democratic Party, which just seems to be talking to women and seems elitist and kind of snobby and out of touch. It was fascinating to hear Maize allude to the same issue, the same male-female divide among black voters. And he was very specific in his mind that the Democratic Party specifically reaches out to black women, much to the, not dismay, but much to the negligence of black men. Anyways, that's a short clip. Here's the deal. You know the drill, guys. The entire conversation and the longer versions of my conversations with Maize Jackson are up on my Substack. Just go there. Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Social Contract with Joe Walsh, all one word. Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Go there for all the different clips of my conversation on the south side of Chicago with, as he calls himself, an advocate for black people. Maize Jackson. Fascinating conversation. Because of the short week, I'll show you some more of our conversation on tomorrow's show and some more on Friday's show as well. Again, you know where to go. My Substack, socialcontractwithjoewalsh.substack.com. Fascinating conversation. There it is, Keith. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Hope your week, this short week, all of you, is off to a really, really good start. Thanks for listening. Love you, MAGA. Love you, MAGA. Trump ain't no man. Trump's a pussy. Trump's a wussy. Trump is a coward. He's a big baby. He's a bully, MAGA. And remember, you know this, all bullies are cowards. Hey, thanks for listening. Talk tomorrow. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with